Let's get moving. All right, so imperialism, both old and new, if you look at this, I'm sorry I have to kneel. You take over a country as a colony, okay, and you hold your power over them. Make sense? It's not like you come in, get the resources, and then move out. You come in, take over, and stay for a while. You put your ideas and all this stuff on there. Now, if you look at new imperialism, it's this idea of not just militarily taking over, but you're also putting in your ideas and beliefs and values and things like that on the people who are already there. We'll talk about this idea more, the idea of new imperialism more, as we look at things like cultural imperialism. All right, if you watch that little video, you already kind of talked about that, where I had the cartoon with Mickey Mouse and Goofy and all that stuff, and they're bombing them with Coke cans. All right, anybody see that? Maybe. Ooh, we should. You might want to take this down. Okay, at least try. So you're taking over, you're staying for a while. New imperialism, things like that. You're putting your values, all that, onto the people you're taking over. Do you guys see? Do you see the difference? Yeah. No. Kinda. Okay. House cleaning. Good. Am I in my way? Am I in your way? Sure. Okay. Now we're probably gonna move. I'm gonna move a little quicker as we go through this, so don't worry about getting everything down right away. Um, all right. Last time, taking over, staying for a while. Second thing, you're bringing values, beliefs, all that stuff, imposing them on the people. Okay. So you got to look at why people did it. All right. Really, there's 4 different categories. First is economics. So you take over another country because they have something you want, and you're going to benefit from it. Okay. You're developing factories, so they need raw materials. Think of rubber. Does rubber grow anywhere around here? Not at all. Rubber grows in rubber trees in Southeast Asia. But if you're running a tire plant in Ohio or Indiana and you need rubber, somehow you've got to be able to get that, right? So it's all for your economic benefit. Um, what? What's that? Well, it comes from a rubber tree. I mean, it's like a byproduct of that tree. I don't know exactly how it makes it. I think so, and then you heat it up and put all that stuff in it. The other thing you're doing when you're taking over countries is you're creating new markets. Okay, I think one of the best ideas for this, even you, Mr. Harnden, is when you look at Chinese basketball players. Okay, now Yao Ming is no longer in the NBA, but when he first came to the NBA, there's another guy before him that was kind of a big deal too. But when Yao Ming came, people were scrambling to sign him. Now, was he a good basketball player? Yeah. Was he humongous? Yeah. But on top of all that stuff, and probably more importantly to like the owners and stuff of the teams, how many people are in China? About 1 billion, literally. If you got 1 billion people, or close to 1 billion people, or half a billion people that like basketball, whose jersey are they going to buy? Yao Ming's, right? So, yeah, can I write a check? Remember that commercial? So, when Yao Ming signs with the Rockets, what happened to their jersey sales and apparel sales and all that stuff? Goes through the roof, right? Because they have a new market. Now, would it have been the same thing had he signed with the Wolves or the Bucks or the Bulls or whoever it was? Yeah, just a different team, but you're creating new markets. Does that make sense? So for all these products, when you take over, you get new markets. The other thing you're getting is cheap labor. So you go to a country that's not as developed, and the people don't necessarily have the experience, the skills, whatever it is. Companies can pay them a lot less than they pay a developed country. So you're making things cheaper. All right, you guys know what an iPad is? Yeah. There's one on the desk, if you don't. they just had, I think I heard on the radio, 2 dust explosions, like some of the aluminum particles that come from when they're making those things, and they have them in factories in China, and Apple's getting a lot of heat for it. But anyway, this stuff like spontaneously combusts if it's around and whatever. I don't know if it's an electrical thing, whatever it is, but workers have to, they're covering themselves, and 6 people died in the factory, and then somebody else like got his face burnt off because this dust just exploded. Now, if they made iPads in America, well, would it cost $600? Probably not. You'd probably be paying a lot more. You probably wouldn't have the same risks and things like that. Okay. So economic motives, military motives. Okay. Why do they need that? Exactly. If you're Britain and you've got a colony in Africa, you're going to need to protect it, right? So the easiest way to protect it then is to get close to it and to set up bases for it. So maybe they don't have resources you need, but strategically they're in a good location. Make sense? Exactly. Exactly. That's why we had a base in Pearl Harbor, because we had the Philippines. So what you see are cities, countries, all that stuff, islands and coastal towns, coastal cities, are coveted by Britain, France, Germany, all those countries that are colonized, because they need a quick way to not dispose of, but to send their troops out, to bring them back in. They need a place for that, right? I mean, why do we have an Air Force installation in Germany? Well, in case the Soviets were going to go crazy and bomb somebody during the Cold War, we're close. Same reason why we have missiles in Turkey and a Marine base in Japan. You're close to those people that you're competing against. Russia, China, places like that. Make sense? Okay? We like Canada, otherwise maybe we'd have a base here. A bunch of missiles pointing at Canada. Just kidding. More jobs. All right. I think we got 2 more. Political motives. Okay? You're the king of France. Somehow you're related to the king of England, which isn't that uncommon. The king of England gets something, opens a new market, makes more money. What do you want to do? Same thing, right? You're competitive. Politically, you want to expand that stuff. Okay? One more. Hi, Ms. Callerman. This is the big one now when you look at humanitarian motives. Okay? You're looking at the idea of the white man's burden. Okay? In many countries and many people felt it was the duty of Christianized countries to spread the word and to spread that way of life to other people who were not Christianized. Does that make sense? So you're going to go save the savages, basically. Okay? They also wanted to spread and teach Western thoughts and beliefs, like the classics, right? The Greek, Roman, teach Latin, teach the Bible, all that stuff, and bring Western medicine to those places to help solve diseases and crime. You see this still today. I mean, how many guys have seen a commercial with the old guy saying, for less than a cup of coffee a day, you can feed a starving child in Africa, right? And they're appealing to that humanitarian thread that runs through everybody, really. You want to help people, okay? It's a big idea. The idea that you're saving someone or you're going to help save them motivates people to act. If it didn't, I think our world would be a very different place. You wouldn't see the ads you see. You wouldn't see the groups exist, all that stuff. So does that make sense? Economic, military, humanitarian? Yes, no? Yeah? Okay. Finally, how do they justify these things, especially humanitarians? First one is through an idea called social Darwinism. Who the heck was Darwin? It's theory of evolution. What's the theory of evolution say, Jen? Survival of the fittest. So if you don't deserve to survive, you're going to die off, right? Or if you have a trait that isn't necessarily a beneficial trait, you're going to lose that trait, develop one that you will over the course of a long period of time. Okay. Charles Darwin has his theory adopted by people during this time period of imperialism, and it's applied to colonizers. Okay. I just want to take a quick look at those right now. So, where are we?